It's showtime.
Breaking news from the BS and Beer News Desk.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the final beer chaser of the season. I am Dale. We are joined by Trail from Sports for You. What's going on, Trail?
I didn't even bother putting on my hoodie. I was like, yeah, why? Why?
It's okay,
What's
man.
going on, Dale?
It's okay, man. They can't hurt us anymore. Final game of the season. Man. Oh, shit. Look at that freaking score. I just noticed that the Saints score is messed up. It was 19. The Bucs beat the Saints 19 to 27.
Don't even worry about it. Just put an L instead of a number. Everybody
Right.
can get the gist.
Yes. Maybe that's what I do next season. But yeah, man. Overall thoughts about the game here.
We gave it away. We had a chance to prevent them from possibly going to the playoffs, but either that is just we let that game slip, especially offensively. We let the game slip. Spencer Rattler was solid in the first half, but kept throwing high throws. He's missed on MVS like at least twice. He missed one to Johnson. It just some of these plays we would have had. We could have came away with some scores. We actually should have had more touchdowns than what we did, and we definitely should have won this game.
Yep.
Uh,
Bobby X for Petty. Like all we had to do is come up Mike Evans on the last play. This is one job.
That's what happens when you trade away Marshawn Lattimore. The one guy who always had Mike Evans under arrest.
Yeah, Mike Evans' daddy.
Yeah, he's no longer there. And I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, that is one of the problems with trading Mike Evans. You don't have that built-in stopper there.
Yep, and I agree, Bobby. The Falcons are not in, and that's all I care about. Even if the Falcons won, they wasn't getting in because the Bucs won. So,
but I think this part was good because we gave them hope, and we took it away.
Yeah, by also sacrificing our pride too.
Yeah, for real.
That dude is not ready to be quarterback.
All right, so let's go through some of this game, man. The Saints coming up short early. We settle in for field goals, start the game off. I believe we settled early twice and settled for some field goals. But we did convert on the field goals, which is pretty good. So we're up early. The Bucs were kind of struggling on offense early on. But I think the Saints were aggressive early, going for it on fourth down a few times. Converting. What did you think overall early with the Saints offense?
Yeah, I was like, okay, we're moving. We got nothing to lose. It's pretty much everyone is out on injury, so we pretty much have nothing to play for except for team pride and for the state of Louisiana. So going for it on fourth down, Spencer Rattler had over 140 yards passing. So I was sitting back looking at this like, where was this Spencer Rattler when we played the Broncos a few months ago? Where when we actually had a chance? Like, where was this at? So I was liking what we were doing. I mean, it's a divisional game, so I wasn't expecting multiple touchdowns because there's been times we beat them with one touchdown and all field goals. Just ask Tom Brady. So I wasn't worried too much about that because I think we beat them in the last game of the season last year. So it's always the division when it happens. But the first half, I'm like, okay, we're rolling. If we can duplicate this in the second half, try to get some touchdowns, we goaded.
Yeah, that was the story of the first half, man. The offense possessing the ball and not having the ball with the Bucs, man. At one point in the second quarter, the Saints had like 33 plays to the Bucs 10. Um, I thought the game plan was working out very well. Um, we we had the number in the first half. I don't know what happened.
Ah, man, everyone was stepping up. So I don't know. I don't know what happened in the halftime. I don't know what it was, but it was we were playing a good. That was Spencer Rattler's best half
Yes.
since being on the field this season.
Hmm. Yeah. Exactly, man. Oh man. So let's go a little bit further into the game. Let's get to the second half. The Bucs they start figuring out how to run the football, and they're starting to move the ball a little bit more on offense. Um, you saw them get into the end zone with the pass to Durham that made the score 16-10 Saints. Um, After the Saints get the ball back, you know, it just the offense just didn't look the same way. Um, Early in that first half, we saw the short pass game working to perfection, especially like right before the half. Like I mean, the Saints did settle for a field goal, but we still drove like the distance of the field with the short passing game. Like I'm falling in love with Spencer Rattler at this point because I'm like, man, he's seeing the field, he's dealing.
Yeah, and we was controlling the time of possession like 15-5, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah,
we was controlling the tempo and the clock for that whole first half.
man, crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, um, let's talk about this hit from Demario Davis onto Bucky Irving, the
That should have been
running
a
back.
fumble. I don't care what anyone says. That should have been a fumble. The hell with nah, man. I'll take that to my grave. That should have been a fumble. No, we didn't tank. We just had Spencer Rattler as a quarterback. That's the difference. Um, yeah, that should have been a fumble because that was a nice hit on Burger Irving to get that ball off. I don't
Yeah,
that was a fumble. We
yeah,
should have had that.
man.
We should have had that.
Woo. Well, my goodness, that would definitely been on Jacked Up if there was still a Jacked Up segment. Um, for real though, that was amazing. So after the Bucks scored that touchdown in the second half to start off everything, the Saints followed up with a 3-and-out. And at this point, I'm thinking, man, the game's starting to turn. We about to lay down now. Um, is about to be over. But then the Saints defense get onto the field and Jordan Howden gets an interception. And we follow up that interception with the field goal. It's not the touchdown you want, but we did score
Mm-hmm.
points off a turnover, which was what the doctor ordered, and that made it 19-13. So what are your thoughts at this point?
Mm-hmm. I was like, all right, we maybe we are getting that little mojo back from the first half. We got to stop. Let keep it going. Even
Yeah.
though Spencer Rattler was starting to struggle, they was starting. He's starting to look like Spencer Rattler of old. So I'm like, man, eventually you keep giving these Bucks a chance. Baker Mayfield is going to make a fool out of all of us, and the penalties in the second half alone is one of the biggest reasons why we lost.
Yeah, man. So many freaking penalties. Penalties at very bad times as well. Um, so let's say we finished 8 penalties for 77 yards. Compared to the Bucs who did 12 for 90. But definitely some untimely penalties to screw the game up for us. So
Mm-hmm.
um the Bucs answer the field goal by touchdown pass to McMillan. That was a hell of a catch going to this corner here. He got both feet down, and now it's 20-19 Bucs. How the hell does Tampa keep finding wide receivers? And it's like we have to go find guys off the street to play wide receiver for the Saints during the season because we don't have no damn wide receivers.
It's a combination of the wide receivers, but more of Baker Mayfield. I mean, the guy has a cannon for an arm. He knows when to run. He's great at breaking tackles and eluding tackles. So I'm just gonna give it to Baker Mayfield. That's why he's making these wide receivers look good because he knows how to get out of trouble and throw the ball where it needs to be. And the fact that the wide receiver almost cost him a possession with that stupid taunting penalty, which they got him the first down, but they got him out of the area. So the fact that he was still able to regroup and catch that corner pass for the touchdown, it's like, man, Baker Mayfield is pretty much shutting everybody up that's said he was trash. Like, it really makes you think that Cleveland really fumbled the ball with him.
Oh, they definitely did because look, when you got rid of your guy and somebody else paid him, and you're still looking for your guy, you've done the wrong thing for sure. So it's absolutely no doubt Cleveland bumbled that one. So, so Honey Badger leaves the game with the concussion here. So that's another penalty. I mean, I'm sorry, another guy we're down in the back end of the defense there. So we're getting down to the end of the game, and this is where the Bucs just take this long drive from like the 5-yard line or something like that. We're committing penalties, keep the drive going, but Baker dumps the ball off to Bucky Irving for a touchdown. And just complete little, BS play, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he scored his 11-yard touchdown, made it 27-19 for the Bucs. Just terrible, man. Just terrible.
Yeah, and to go back to what you were saying about that long drive, we had them close to the red zone on their end at third and 15, I think, and we left that whole field open for Baker Mayfield to get them yards back for that first down. So I'm like, Jesus, like, still can't we covered, but we still got to keep in mind that Baker Mayfield's a runner, and that short little man can run his butt off. It's like trying to chase a 5-year-old down the hallway at home for bedtime. The dude just will not be caught. And I'm like, we had them. We had them on their end 2 separate times for a third down. We still let them go off.
On that touchdown drive, their last touchdown drive, we aided them twice with defensive penalties. Unnecessary roughness from
that one I hated. Shepherd. That was stupid. That was stupid.
Yeah, man. Like that like, man, you can't win when you're the underdog. You're trying to win away from home. Like you can't aid the enemy, man. So that's what it came down to right there, man. So so now the season's over. Like, we got some thinking to do and everything of who to keep, who to let go of, and all that kind of stuff. I would say that Spencer Rattler has proven that he's at least a capable backup in the NFL right now. Now, I'm not saying his ceiling isn't higher, but as of right now, I think he proved that at least. What's your thoughts on Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, the poise he showed, like I said, the poise he showed in the first half. I was like, where was this months ago? But he's gonna have a full off season again, and then he gets another shot, in preseason training camp, whatever, to fight for that second place spot. But I think he does have a future in the NFL. As a starter, as of right now, no. So he can get better. Can he get better? Sure. I hope he does. But right now, nah. He's second quarterback right now at best as a number two, because
Yeah,
Hayner is just as bad as he is. So unless we go out there and we pick up a free agent quarterback as a backup, I think Spencer Rattler's job as QB2 is pretty much safe right now if he keeps it up.
yeah, yeah. I agree here. Um, Jawan Johnson, his contract is going to be up here. So, what are your thoughts about re-signing him? Because I would say earlier in the year, I was pretty much dead set on, you know what? Forget Jawan Johnson. Uh he is just not consistent enough as a target for me to re-sign him. But so you kind of look at his contract according to over the cap. So if we don't re-sign him, we're definitely going to have a $6.5 million dead money cap hit on him, um, because this is the way they structured his deal. So we could resign him, and then we could spread this dead money number over a little bit, or we can just let him go and just deal with the dead money. So just looking at this part of it, and then the late kind of resurgence in the season, I think I would go ahead and re-sign Juwan Johnson. That'll ease the cap problems for next year, and I think he'd be a decent player as a number two tight end to keep around.
Yeah. Part of him being inconsistent was the play calling, the offense forgetting that we had tight ends.
Mm,
So we was more focused on Shaheed, we was more focused on Olave, we was more focused on MVS, Kamara, Monroe. We forget we had him as a tight end as well. So
yeah,
when we had all our starters gone, you had no choice but to look to the tight ends. And look what happened in the first half. He was getting a whole lot of touches, a whole lot of catches, a whole lot of looks. So I think if they choose to keep him, restructure his contract, um, if possible, and keep him, because we have Olave, we have Kamara. Kamara's already signed, so we have, Shaheed's still good. So we have the main players on offense. More than likely, it's probably gonna be the defensive personnel that's probably gonna get some cuts or restructuring as well. So, but him, I would keep him because he proved that he can be serviceable if we actually remember we have tight ends. Because tight ends help make the offense go around, just as everybody else is using their tight ends. We gotta remember we have not one but two tight ends. So start getting these tight ends involved next season along with the running backs. We should be a solid offense. So I would keep them.
okay. What do you think about Chase Young? Sort of had a bit of a resurgence after Da left. Um, let's see about his stats for the season. Um, so he had about 20 solo tackles, 5.5 sacks. Um,
He was definitely a disruptor.
yeah, one fumble recovery, oh, forced fumble. I'm sorry. And look like two passes deflected this season. So, with that being said, He signed an $11 million contract, like pretty much 1 year. The way they structured the deal, they prorated a lot of his bonus. So if we don't resign him this next season, there's a $9 million dead cap number. If we do resign him, we can restructure that sort of thing and spread that out a little bit further. So would you resign Chase Young or would you let him go?
If he's okay with restructuring, I would try to resign him because we don't know. Cam Jordan says he's good to go for next year, but a lot can change. Because he's up there, but he did have a good season in his own right. Ain't no telling what's gonna happen with Demario Davis.
Mhm.
So we're already pretty thin on defense. So I would try to work something out and keep him because I know people were expecting him to be this sack machine, racking up all these sacks. I just want the man to be somewhat, decent, be a disruptor and on the line, cause the quarterback to step out of the pocket and make some erratic decisions, make create some forced fumbles, be in their face. And he's done that. So I can see if
Yeah,
he didn't I can see if he didn't do anything, but I've been looking at him play and he's been everywhere. He's under the radar. He's been all over, the offensive space, the quarterback's space, or to help deflecting passes or rushing quarterbacks out of the pocket. So
right.
I would try to re-sign him because he did some good this season.
You okay with the $11 million number?
I mean, we can get it down to 10 for another year.
Hmm.
Like I said, if they can restructure it and he's cool with it, I mean, we're not gonna offer him a 2-year contract, 3-year contract. We more likely, if anything, we're gonna offer him another year. So we
Okay.
can drop that down to maybe 9 or 10 million. He's cool with it. Yeah. Otherwise, just have to make that sacrifice that we done already and adios.
See, I would assume he sacrificed some money for years, maybe. So if he's cool for going down to 9, let's say, from 11, would you give him like a 2-year deal guaranteed, or what would you do?
If he's cool with dropping it down to 9, I wouldn't be mad at getting him a 2-year max deal for 9 million.
Okay. All right. 9 a season. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Cam Jordan, you brought up. Now his deal, um, he's if we cut him or he retires or whatever, it's a $23 million, almost $24 million dead cap hit for next season. So I could see the Saints after that. I mean, after the 25 seasons, it's nothing but boy years. So and then that dead cap hit would be like 15 million. So I could see the Saints at least deciding to do something with his deal if he wants to stick around. But even if he decides to retire, like he's not going to officially retire. He's gonna have the Ram check retirement, I think, and play for a year for free. I mean, I'm sorry, he doesn't actually play, but be on IR for a year and get this game check or whatever. That's
Mm,
what I think will end up happening with him.
yeah, if they don't get if they don't restructure, he's gonna retire. There's no way we're gonna cut him and let somebody else pick him up. I think he's gonna be a lifer. I don't
Yeah,
see him. I don't see him leaving for anywhere else. So if he doesn't want to restructure anymore, which I don't think he will have a problem with that because he's restructured his deals before. Um, I can see him retiring, but if he says he can go another year, which I see him going another year compared to how the year he had this year, which was good, and him coming in as a instead of a starter, I can see him taking another restructuring of his contract, maybe like a 1-year deal or something like that if he's gonna make it his final season, maybe. So I could see them restructuring it big time, but we're not going to cut him. It's either we restructure it or he's retiring.
The last one, Derek Carr. This is probably the biggest one here. If we cut him, according to Over the Cap, there's a $50 million dead money hit. So after the 26th season, that's when his deal starts voiding and the ghost years appear. So, I mean, Derek Carr still has the leverage right now to just be like, no, I'm not doing nothing to this deal. The only thing the Saints could possibly do is offer him more years to lower his cap number, and then that pushes the deal into like 2027 or something like that. So I don't know what you would end up doing with him, but if you just cut him, like you're doing absolutely nothing next season. There is nothing in free agency you can do. You can't re-sign anybody, nothing like that, because at that point you're going to be down what 120 million in the cap or something like that, because we're already 70 million over. So that'll add like 50 to it. So yeah.
Yeah, his contract's a wild card. I 100% expect him to be back next season. Now the thing is, are they gonna like how many years does he have in his contract? Like, are they able to just let his contract run out and maybe franchise tag him or trade him afterwards?
I mean, it's always possible somebody can try to trade, but the way the deal is structured, it's still gonna hurt you a lot
Yeah.
when you actually trade him because of the way the prorated money works out. So his deal voids after the 26th season. So that's typical. That's just the end of the contract there.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
they're just gonna wait until the end of 2026
yeah,
season to see what they do, and from there it'll probably be an easier decision then as opposed to now, unless they get some kind of deal done in the middle of the next season, which I can see happening if they feel like he's. Depending on it, all depends on who we get as head coach.
yeah, yeah, and that's what I think they're going to do, is leave it up to that head coach to figure out if you indeed want to move forward with Carr and just deal with this thing, or do we mortgage something and figure out how to pay Carr off and how to pay off everybody else that you have to get rid of. I think the other big one was like Taysom Hill on
Yeah.
offense that you can kind of look at as a something to freaking get rid of or whatever. Okay, so in 25, his dead money number is 17 million. So that, and then his deal voids in 26. So maybe that's the bullet you end up biting and just let him go and bite that 17 million. What you think about that one? Taysom Hill.
Well, as a fan, I would say do whatever you can to keep him because no other team in the NFL right now has a Taysom Hill.
Mm-hmm.
So to let him walk, and then whoever he walks into, they can duplicate what we did with him, and probably have more success depending on who the team is. I would do whatever it takes to keep him, but again, it still falls on the
New
coach we
coach.
get.
Yes.
Yeah, because if it's who I think, well, if it's who I saw in the rumor mill, Carr's going to be staying for a while.
What'd you see in the rumor mill?
That John Gruden was the leading candidate for the head coaching job.
Okay. All right.
And
Yeah.
those two go way back. in their days in Oakland. So
Yeah. I could kind of see that just because the Saints brought him in for help or something like that just a year ago. So
yeah, and they
yeah,
already know. They
yeah.
already know. And
Mhm.
there's a guy off of I don't know if it was New England staff or if it was the Detroit staff who used to be a corner of ours.
Oh yeah, Detroit, Aaron Glenn.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I heard something that he was a candidate for the head coaching job
yeah, yeah.
also.
That
So
was the hot name I was hearing a lot of, Aaron Glenn.
yeah. So it depends, man. But I would find a way to keep Taysom Hill. And again, it all depends on Taysom Hill's what he wants to do. Does he still want to stick around as a gadget player? Because we use him as quarterback, we use him as a running back, we use him as a tight end. So and he's getting, if I'm not mistaken,
$34.
he's getting paid for every position. So if they
Yeah.
can restructure that and still have him getting paid, he should be happy with that. So, I would do ever to keep him, but I don't know who's gonna get his head coach. If it's someone in house, you know, we there's a I feel good about Taysom Hill staying, but it just depends on who we get.
Okay. Yep. We got to see what the decisions are going to be. Look, the Saints should be bringing in some people to talk to as a head coach pretty soon. What chances do you think Rizzy has to become the full time head coach? Do you think he even gets an interview?
Uh, I mean, they have to do their due diligence and do an interview, even if they know they're not gonna promote him to head coach. I think they do owe him at least for him to plead his case because he inherited a team that's full of injuries. Like all our starters are basically gone, so it's not like he squandered a season with our guys. So he's pretty much coaching the JV team since since November. So um, they at least owe him a shot to plead his case, even if they know he's not going to get it, and they got someone else in line. But at least give him a chance to, because the locker room loved him, and you can see how animated he is on the sideline. He's
Yeah.
very passionate. He's getting in our players for when they screw up or whatever. So he has what it takes to be a head coach. But if they got someone else in mind, at least let him interview anyway.
Yep. All right. Cool. Well, that wraps up the Beer Chaser this week, man. And this season. We definitely thank everybody for chiming in and dealing
Making
with
fun
us.
of us, even though it's very warranted.
Yep.
It is what it
Haters.
is.
Shout out to the haters.
At least our Tigers, went out with a win. So
Yeah.
I was happy on that. Somebody from New Orleans was winning, and our alums of Joe Burrow getting the job done yesterday. So
Yes, indeed.
I'm happy.
Nice thing to
This is
see.
over, so we ain't got to worry about this until August.
Yes. Yes, indeed, man. So we will see you guys then. Enjoy the off season, y'all. It's gonna be a long one.
Yeah.
But
And
it should be eventful because we gotta get a head coach. So yeah, should be eventful.
yeah. And hopefully the Bucs go in and they come right back out a week later and sit on the couch with us. So
Yes. Be
yeah.
wonderful.
Yes.
Be wonderful. You can wear your division title t-shirts, keep you warm. How about that?
Yes. Yes. Eventually we getting those back.
That's right. All right. Well, we see y'all later. Who dat?
Who dat? See you next year.
Remember to follow us on social media at BS and Beer Media. Also, smash the like button on YouTube and share with friends.